Hi guys, and welcome back to SwitchUp. Today we're going to look at a buy and avoid list, which we haven't done for a while, of some of the games that we've been playing over the last couple of months that potentially we haven't been able to review.
Absolutely, so we've got 10 games to look at. Let's get started.
Pow! You can cut the power out. First up on our list is Skellboy. This is an interesting game. It's a bit Zelda-like, and when I say Zelda-like I mean old school Zelda, not new school. You control a skeleton who's been raised from the dead by an evil court wizard who's basically upset that he gets dumped by the princess.
Okay.
The cool thing about this one is you can don different parts of enemy bodies that once you kill them, their head might come off.
Oh, okay.
So you can kind of attach that to your skeleton and use it, and it gives you different abilities. They don't really utilise that as well as they could, but overall it's a fun game, a bit quirky. There's a few performance issues at the moment, so for me this would be a wait for a sale.
Next up then we have Monster Energy Supercross 3. Quite a
mouthful.
That is a mouthful. Which is coming out this week and obviously is the third that's been released on the Switch so far. This is a very good game. It has the 450 and the 250 East and West classes or categories available. Has a track editor as well.
Oh nice.
Performance is decent, tiny bit blurry to be fair,
Yeah.
but nothing that's going to be a huge problem. And if I'm right about this company, the other games they've released, as soon as it's come out, they've released a day one patch to improve the graphics, so it may well be that that happens again. Problem is it's ridiculously expensive.
Crazy.
It's £54, $53.99 in England, and it's 49 euros, dollars elsewhere.
Whew.
I would say wait for a sale on this one in terms of the price, but in terms of the quality of the game, it's worth buying. Does that make sense?
Perfect. Next up is one we recently reviewed on the channel. It's Ash of Gods, which is kind of a Banner Saga-like experience, I guess. There was a bit too much borrowing for my liking, and I know some of you in the comments. It's an okay game, but unfortunately the writing and the translation is just not great. Now the overall experience is still okay, and I would say in a deep sale it would be a pickup.
It's about £25 that one, isn't it? $30?
Yeah, it is.
Take. Next up then we have a game called Music Racer from Sometimes You. This is a rhythm game, isn't it? Based on the idea of a car going down the track with a very interesting psychedelic art style. Problem is that the order in which you pick up, you have little white tiles that you need to collect as you're going. They don't really affect the music. So they affect your score, but they don't have any real bearing on what you're doing.
They don't even really make a sound as you go over them.
Not really, which for a music game, I mean the point is you know, that it distorts the music as you miss a couple and things like that, or builds the music up. It's not a great game, to be perfectly honest, is it? I don't like saying that, but it's quite poor. Yeah, this is an avoid, I'd say.
Definitely, avoid. Which takes us on to Omottomo, which is pitted as a relaxing experience. It's a puzzler, really simplistic puzzler, where you control two different stones with your left and right analog sticks, and you have to guide them towards the end of a course. You can split the Joy-Cons and play cooperatively. It's supposed to be a relaxing game. I found it more of a boring game, if I'm honest. There are better, simplistic, relaxing puzzlers on the Switch, in my opinion.
I suppose it's one of those, as long as you know what you're getting into, you may well enjoy it. But what would you recommend? Maybe
Personally,
have a look on the trailer.
have a look,
and
see what you think. We'll say Deep Sale.
Yeah, yeah. Next up then we have a game called Simulacra by Wales Interactive. Now this company puts out FMV type experiences on the Switch, don't they? And this being one of their latest ones. It's all based around a mobile phone, finding a phone and having to get in to find what's happened to the owner of the phone.
Yeah.
And obviously as you explore it, things happen. It's quite an interesting premise, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a decent looking game. I mean, I've never played one of these before, if I'm honest. But they're really intriguing. It's clever the way they've done it. Like your phone reboots at several points, and you kind of watch the apps load back on, and then everything will distort, and you get a strange video to watch. Interesting game. What do you reckon?
I think this is the sort of game I wouldn't sit down and play this in one big session. I would play this with my missus over a few nights and just enjoy it for the experience it is, rather than expecting a game out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy or avoid?
I'd say buy. I'd say buy if you like that sort of thing.
Nice. Next up, we've got the near future Sinless, which is almost set in like a near future semi-cyberpunk world. It's a graphic novel. You control a guy who starts out in a very unusual dream, then wakes up in his flat. Bit of a cliche. It's an okay game. I did like some of the throwbacks to like early PC titles. If anyone ever played a game called KGB on PC, you would be dying all the time for slightly unfair things. I went out into the street on this one and got arrested, and it was game over. I got arrested for
not putting your clothes on.
For not putting my clothes on.
Which is fair.
And it came up with a big pervert message over the screen. So I can't say avoid this, because that's funny.
Yeah. No, yeah, this is Sale.
It's Sale.
I would say Okay, next up there's a game called Invisible Fist. I'm not even sure how to describe this one. It's a capitalism card game.
Invisible gameplay as well.
Oh yeah, you're not wrong. So basically, do you know what it feels like?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it is first. It's like you have sleep, relax and work, and you have to kind of plan out your day using each of these options, and it will take a chunk of energy from you, and it will dictate how your day goes.
Yeah.
But it feels like picking up community chess cards in Monopoly and just constantly reading them. Do you know what I mean? I didn't enjoy this one at all. Maybe I missed the mark completely, but I wouldn't. After 2 minutes, I'd be turning this off.
So I don't know why that made me laugh so much, but I enjoyed that. Yeah. So this one, I'm afraid, is an avoid.
It would have to be an avoid for me. Yeah.
Next up, we've got Kentucky Route Zero. Now, I bought this one on launch day. I thought Annapurna Interactive, those guys know how to make a good game. I didn't realise the history of this. This has been in development. There's 5 different parts that have been gradually coming out since 2013, so about a decade almost. Yeah. It's been coming out, originally a Kickstarter. It's a very good game. Now, on the Switch, you get all 5 parts in one game, which I always prefer, to be honest. It kind of annoys me when you have these little episodic things. Really an interesting game, very unusual, very strange. You kind of got to get yourself ready for that, because it is very unusual. I enjoyed it a lot. I love it. It takes the best parts of point and click. A bit of horror thrown in as well, and really nice visual style. This would be a buy for me.
That sounds good, yeah. Right, last one then is a game called 7th Sector, which is again by Sometimes You. Right, this one is, if you looked at the trailer or if you looked at the screenshots, you'd have no idea what to do on this. No. But you almost play as like a spark of electricity, and you have to take over other objects and use those to move about the level.
I think you're an AI.
An AI is a better way of saying it, thank you, yeah. Or you take over, you go through the wires, don't you? You can turn the lift on and then get someone to go in the lift so that you can move up to the next floor. Very interesting game.
It is.
Very well done. Got some puzzles in there, some puzzle solving. It's too expensive.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. This would have been 100% buy otherwise.
About 10 quid. This would have been an insta buy, wouldn't it? But it's double that.
Yeah, it's about 18, 19 pound. I would say Sale, again, similar to the one we mentioned earlier, the Supercross. In terms of the gameplay, it's very good, buy it. It's just a tad too expensive, maybe wait for a sale. But in terms of the price, Sale.
Wait for a sale. There we have it for our buy and avoid. It's been a long time since we did one of these, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's really nice, and thank you to all the developers who've had patience with us, because we do get bombarded with codes, and we want to give you the coverage you deserve, and hopefully we've done so, unless it was an avoid, and then, well, we're only fair, aren't we?
Even then, I'd like to think, we're fair with it. I mean, we did 17 reviews last month, just to give some context, and still had this many to try and cover. So we do try and get through them, but it's difficult.
First world problems.
Absolutely right, yeah.
Big thanks to Glen, who's drinking his water. Big thanks to our patrons who support the channel every single month. We really appreciate it. We've had a couple of new ones this week.
Yeah, I spoke through that.
That doesn't matter. See you later. For all things Switch all the time. Come on, ready? Here we go. Let's do it together. All together now. See ya! Yes, that was better. Which takes us on to Omottomo. Hang on, Omottomo.
Omottomo, yeah.
Omottomo.
I would say so.
Omottomo?
Omottomo.
Okay. Which takes us on to Omottomo. Which takes... He loves it. Look at his face.